Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Winnipeg Jets franchise mode here in NHL 24. So in last episode, we made a couple changes to maybe help our team going forward, and still we are suffering some inconsistencies with this team. As you can see, we are 29, 27, and 7 at the trade deadline, and we are currently actually in a playoff spot, but not by much. As you can see, the Coyotes have played 2 less games than us, and they're only 3 points back. And then you have other teams like the Wild who are close to us, and there's a lot of teams on 50 points. So we are still kind of in not that great of a territory, even though we are in a playoff spot at the moment. So technically, with us being at the trade deadline, we honestly have like a choice which direction we want to go with this team. And I think the main question is that which way do we go? Do we go playoffs? Because obviously last year we won the Stanley Cup. Or do we decide to start tearing it down? And I will have an answer for you guys in a little bit, but you'll probably understand just based on what I'm saying that our direction is kind of clear on what we want to do. So let's get to some comments first, because you guys also have some opinions on what we should do. So the first comment is from Saturn Otaku, who says, "You're in a tough spot because you're still in the playoff hunt, but how far do you really think you'll go with this roster as it is? At the same time, it may be a good idea to start offloading some of your better players while they still have value so you could stockpile picks, hopefully making the rebuild go as quickly as possible. I'll support whatever you do." And that's basically my mindset as well with what Saturn Otaku is saying is we might be a playoff team with this roster, but this team isn't looking super good in the regular season. They're very inconsistent. So will they actually go far in the playoffs? Does it make it worth it to start adding more pieces to this team so that way we end up losing up on a lot of prospects and maybe we're out in the first round, which would not be great. So that's kind of the same mindset I have at the moment. Next comment is from Dead Alan Gamble, who says the offers for Velarde are trash. He's an RFA, so you'd get more of him on a qualifying offer. Barabanov for Hellenius might be nice. And so yeah, we might be looking at flipping Barabanov for Hellenius. We'll see, depending on what else is out there at the moment. And then the last and final comment is from Shankly Mania, who says, "Well, buddy, it's blow up time now. Even if you get a postseason spot, how far you actually think this inconsistent group would really realistically go? You have a decent prospect pool at the moment, and there's no reason for hitting the brakes when you have this chance. Shifley has nowhere near point per game pace this season. Even Perfetti has better power play stats than him. I'd trade him and Connor away ASAP. So go after the Sabres' first round pick next draft with either of them. Hellebuck seems that he's going downwards too. That's one major asset you have in your deep rebuild pocket. Roy, Haig, Barabanov, and a few other dudes around 30 years old has been really disappointing. Some younger guys with proper potential would seem much smarter at this point. Trading time for them too. Cairo and Hayanola should be split to playing with other pairings. They're pretty much the same type of OFDs that need a more defensive sidekick." And yeah, I totally agree with all that. So the direction we're going to do, obviously, based on what you guys say and what I say, is rebuild. We are going rebuild. We're going to start offloading some pieces here in this episode. So it could end up being a very long episode because I honestly have no idea what I'm going to be asking for from these teams. But I did put edit our trading block a bit. I didn't actually put any players on the block. I will do that here in a little bit. But I did edit like our surplus. As you can see, basically we want forwards, defenders, or we want to give up defenders, forwards, and goalies that are 27 or older. So that will put a lot of players on the block pretty much. And we could add 3rd and 4th round picks. We don't want to add 1st round picks and 2nd rounders. And then in terms of what we actually want, we want players that are 17 to 26 years old, and we'll take 1st, 2nd, and 3rd round picks. So it should be interesting to see if we actually get any interesting offers. And players we're going to throw on the block here, because I did write down basically some players that I would be okay with moving this year. Some of them are pending UFAs, and then other ones are basically like cap constraint, cap relief if we want to get rid of them. So obviously Kyle Connor being a pending UFA, he's a big one. He's going to go on the block, even though obviously last year he had a really good playoffs for us. Won us the Stanley Cup. It's his time to leave because obviously being a pending free agent, we won't likely be able to re-sign him. Also, there's a couple other guys like Mark Scheifele, obviously that's cap relief. Pending free agents like Barabanov, Lowry, Fisher, Roy. And then more cap relief with like guys like Victor Hedman, Connor Hellebuck, that type of thing. So let's get Scheifele. Let's get Hellebuck on here. Yeah, Scheifele's value is dropping off a lot. It's like normal top 6 value, which is not ideal. We'll get also Hellebuck on here too, because he doesn't have much value. So those 3 guys. What else we got here? Barabanov, I guess. I could add Barabanov and Lowry, I guess, to this mix that's on the block. I don't know if I will actually trade Nick Hague. I know you guys were saying about Nick Hague, but I think I might hold on to him for one more year because we did give him a big extension. So I think a lot of teams might not like that, at least right now. So Lowry will get added to the block, and we'll also add Mr. Barabanov. We're going to lose a lot of morale from this. We actually have pretty good locker room chemistry at the moment. I was taking a look at that, but it should probably go down the tubes with all this. So it's going to be really interesting to see what ends up happening and what our team's looking like after the trade deadline. So all those players are on our block now. We are also going to go to the find trade option and just see what we can get for these guys. I might honestly trade Barabanov already for Hellenius because we were getting that offer from New Jersey, and it's not a bad one. Because if we go to Barabanov here, there was the New Jersey one. Did they already? Oh, they added their trade a little bit. This actually might be an intriguing one too. Let's see. Okay, a medium elite goaltending prospect for Barabanov. I do want to take a look at this one quickly as well, but there is offers out there for Barabanov, which is intriguing. Vorobiev is a 61 at 19. I don't know if he reaches that medium elite potential. He was a 3rd round pick. Has played 1 game in the AHL for Rochester, so he must have been acquired from them. Yeah, he must have been acquired by New Jersey, because he was drafted by Buffalo, and he wouldn't have been put on waivers yet. So, yeah, he was probably traded already there recently. Let's go back to the trade finder again. New Jersey is a very good team right now, so they're definitely trying to add quite a bit. But let's see what those other offers were again, because the Hellenius one was intriguing before. Because we have Hellenius, we have Schwartz in this one, and Brennan, which gives us a goalie prospect. Massey is interesting as well. He's like a 71 when I was looking last. So it's mostly all New Jersey that wants him. This one from Pittsburgh is not a good offer, really, compared to some of the other ones. I think this one from New Jersey might be the one we end up doing here, because Hellenius was a 77, I think. Yeah, he's a 77 at 19. He was a former 21st overall pick by Dallas, so they must have acquired him in a trade. He's already played a couple NHL games last year in Dallas. Got dealt this year. Or actually, yeah, he must have got dealt this year, or in the off season. Played 1 game with New Jersey and had a point, which is pretty good. Yeah, so there's Hellenius we get. We get also Maximus Schwartz, which is a cool name. He probably won't even get a contract here, but still gives us a defensive prospect anyways. And then how good is Brennan? Brennan is a 72 at 22. That's not bad. I mean, he's not going to probably reach that fringe starter potential. He has not played a single game in the AHL, so he's been just a healthy scratch, it looks like. Let me just take a look at our goalie situation at the moment. Because we got Dostal, we got Hellebuck. AHL-wise, we got Grant and Milic. So, like, he's still not going to get the play with us, it seems like Brennan. He's kind of like an extra goalie thrown into this deal. They're just giving us a bunch of crap on top of Hellenius. I honestly don't need these two, I don't think. I'll take Hellenius, and I will take a draft pick if you want to give me a draft pick. I don't mind that. Like, would you give me a 3rd round pick? Probably not. I could try and take a 4th rounder, but let's try this. Barabanov for Hellenius in a 3rd round pick. Rejected. Okay. What if I change it to a 4th? I just don't want those crappy prospects, to be honest. That's not too far off, so I guess we're going to be able to get a 5th round pick into those guys, but that's okay because I don't really need that goalie. And Maximus Schwartz, as cool as he is, don't really need him. Actually, no, that's admirably just a bit low as well. I guess we're going to get a 6th round pick, which means can I get a 6th and a 7th? That's still rejected. Can I get just a 6th round pick into this deal? I am really surprised that they're not accepting this, because I thought they offered me Hellenius straight up for Barabanov last time. Just a bit low. What about a 7th round pick? If I can't get a 7th, I might just have to do straight up. There we go. Okay, so we get Hellenius in a 7th round pick. There's our first trade of the day. Barabanov heads to New Jersey with a chance to win a Stanley Cup again, probably. Let's just keep our lines the same. We'll just go best lines because at the moment we don't really give a crap. Okay. Wow, New Jersey's actually over the salary cap because of that trade. That's probably why they tried to trade me other pieces. I don't know why they're doing that, then. They're over the salary cap, which means they're probably going to end up wanting to flip away somebody who's making a lot of money. That trade might not have worked out well for them. Barabanov honestly might just get thrown to the AHL. But why were they offering me a trade for him then if they were that close to the cap? They might need some cap relief, so I honestly might make a trade for somebody else on their roster to free up cap space for them. I could, but I don't know if I will. They're over, but actually, no, it says they have cap space there. Actually, never mind. It was just a glitch on the side for a little bit. Weird. Okay. So there's our first order of business. Let's also do some other fine trade options just to see what else we could get out there for potential offers, but we'll probably hop into the deadline and hope that we could get some offers from the computer as well, because that would be great. I obviously don't want to be making all these offers myself or doing the fine trade option all the time. So what can we get for a pending Kyle Connor? Let's see. No trades found. I want to find a trade for him, so I'm going to have to do that probably myself. What about Mark Scheifele? Brad Marchand is second in Harrison. That's hilarious. I don't want Brad Marchand. It would free us up cap space right away. But Brad Marchand's not what I really need. A second round pick's okay. Harrison's okay, but I don't want Brad Marchand right now. Not trying to contend, so. What else do we have here? Victor Hedman, who's got 2 years on his contract. Nick Schmaltz, Matt Vuelta, Brad Marchand, Harrison, and Walsh. Tolfin and Bjorkstrand in a third is an interesting one, but that makes us too good right now still, so. I don't like some of these offers right now. Who was the other guys that I wrote down? Oh, yeah, Hellebuck's a big one. What could we get for Connor Hellebuck? What could we get? Parayko is second and DiPietro. Jeez, man. Some of these offers are not that great. Let's just go to the deadline and see what happens. And see if we could pull off some trades. Hopefully we don't run out of time in the deadline. But let's advance a day in this game against Seattle. And I don't know what happened in that. But let's go in as a seller. And yeah, enter trade deadline. Okay. Okay, so let's see. We do actually have some teams interested in Kyle Connor, it says up there. So we might get thrown offers from Philly, Vancouver, and Boston. Let's see. Yeah, we might end up getting thrown some offers, which would be good. Let's go back to find trade, see if we can find something. Let's go Kyle Connor again. Let's just go find trade with the Y button, which we don't find. What about Scheifele? No trades found based on what we were asking for. Hedman, no trades found. Oh my goodness, come on. This is going to be a tough off-season, or tough, not off-season, trade deadline for us. Because I honestly don't, I do like this trade deadline setup, but I also, with the limited amount of time you have, it's kind of scary. 2 in the round picks from Lowry is not bad. A second and a third. Anything better than a second and a third? There's another second and a third. Let's send Lowry. Where do we want to send our captain? Let's send him to Florida, because that's where we obviously we just won the Stanley Cup. And obviously his dad used to play for Florida. So let's send Adam Lowry to Florida. So best of luck there, Adam Lowry. And there's our captain gone. So there's our first order of business at the actual trade deadline. We have flipped now both Lowry and Barabanov. Can we get any interesting offers for our other guys? What can we get for Nick Hague? Even though I was thinking of not trading him yet. Lawson Krause, a third and a fourth. Pacioretty, Cam Atkinson. These are all players that are all good right now. This is not based on our trading blocks, so you know. Second and a third for Hague. Not really sold on a lot of these. Costin and Blay. Samsonov, Jonathan Taves. Yeah, I'm not really sold on a lot of these offers, to be honest. I don't know why we haven't got thrown an offer yet from the computer. It'd be nice if we could get one. Thatcher Demko with 1 year left is kind of crazy, but yeah, I don't know if that would be a future goalie to replace Hellebuck. What about this one? Heinonen and a third from Vegas. So Nick Hague would go right back to where he came from, which is kind of funny. But Heinonen, what is he? 69 at 19. Was the last pick in the last year's draft. I don't really know if he's going to pan out, to be honest. But that's not a bad offer. That's not a bad offer. I don't think I'm going to do that one, though. We still have not thrown any offers yet for our big guys. Let's go back to Scheifele again. Open trade block. Still Brian Marchand and Jake DeBrusk now. No, thank you. Don't want that. What if we go to Kyle Connor? Because he's the big one to trade today. Nothing. We're going to have to find trades on our own. Let's just go propose trade and see if we get interrupted by the AI at any point. But, yeah, we need to find something for Kyle Connor here. What teams are interested in him? Carolina's interested, but they'd be over the cap by a little bit. Colorado. No, Columbus would be interested in him too. They are in a playoff spot right now at the moment. Maybe we can make something work with the Blue Jackets. Because they're actually within the cap right now. A lot of these other teams will be cap constrained. LA could also take on him too. LA or Columbus. Montreal wants him, which makes no sense because they're not fighting for a playoff spot. So New Jersey wants him, but obviously New Jersey's cap constrained. I think LA or Columbus would be good, but I don't know what they have for us to give up. So let's start off with Columbus, do our due diligence, and see if there's anything intriguing out there for us. Any like good potential players that we could bring in via this trade. Kagerodov, 69 and 20 low elite. I don't know if he's gonna reach it though. Jordan Dumais as part of this trade wouldn't be bad either. 77 and 21 low elite. Dumais and Kagerodov are both intriguing. Kagerodov has not a lot of value. Columbus would be over the cap. Oh yeah, they'd be over the cap with the addition of this, but we could take back some salary. Who is making a lot for 1 year. That's low value. Ryan McDonough. We take in Ryan McDonough. That should help their cap space. No, and it doesn't yet. Never mind about trading him to Columbus then. I don't think. Unless we could find something to work out. LA. Do they have any good potential players in the system? Michael Misa. Quinton Byfield obviously wouldn't get dealt yet. Lindstrom's a 75 at 20 as a top 6 prospect. 11th overall pick. He's not bad. He's not bad, but I don't know if he will develop. Man, we only have a few more hours left in this trade deadline already. We're already at like 8:04 a.m. You guys can't see because it's underneath my head, but trying to figure out what we want to do here. Michael Misa's intriguing, but I don't think they would want to move him. Okay, they might actually want to move him. Because they are trying to contend. They do have a lot of centers, so it might make sense to move Michael Misa. Even though Misa just went how high overall? He went 5th overall. We'll try and get Michael Misa involved in this trade. Misa and Chicago's 2nd. Is that enough value? Not even. Wow. We might be able to get a lot from LA for this deal. Misa in a 1st round pick. And is there anything else intriguing in terms of potential? Vasainen. This is a lot if LA actually wants to give up all this. What is Vasainen's overall? 73 at 20. I don't know if he reaches his actual potential though. Trying to see if we could make a good splash here. Let's just sort by age. They don't really have any good unsigned prospects. 62 at 19 is not bad. Lindstrom might be intriguing to throw into this deal too. Let's try this. Kyle Connor to the LA Kings for Michael Misa, a 1st round pick, and Lindstrom. Obviously, this 1st rounder is a little bit late 1st round pick, so maybe I should make it a future first. Do I make it a future first? I might make it a future first. That means go to draft picks. Oh, their next year's first is a lot more value. Yeah, let's just leave it as this year's first, and I guess. So Kyle Connor to the LA Kings from Michael Misa, Lindstrom in a first. Does this work? That accepts. Okay, so Kyle Connor heading to the LA Kings. I think that was a really good return for him. A lot better than I expected. I mean, he's a pending free agent. He might not even sign with the LA Kings at the end of the season. But we bring in a top 6'4 prospect. We bring in Michael Misa, who went 5th overall, and a first-round pick. So that's a very big trade there. Now comes the question about moving Mark Scheifele and stuff like that. That was a pretty big trade for our team. Pretty big trade indeed. Let's actually go to the trade find, or not trade finder, just proposed trade with Scheifele and stuff. We have not gotten a single offer yet from the AI, which is kind of annoying. I don't know if it's because I edited my block in a weird way, but yeah, adding Michael Misa is a very nice one for our team because he could jump to the NHL like as early as next season probably. So what could we get for Scheifele? Who is interested? Boston was, but Boston's not even in a playoff spot, so it doesn't really make sense for them. Carolina, not doing too well either, to be honest. Colorado, or Columbus has interest in him too, but they'd probably be over the cap because of him. Florida. LA wants him. That's funny. Trade LA him as well. New Jersey wants him again. Not a lot of teams interested in him. Toronto, but they aren't doing too good either. Vegas. A lot of these teams are very up against the cap. So that's probably why we didn't get a lot of offers from. I don't know why we haven't gotten any offers from the AI yet. It's kind of annoying. Let's see, draft picks. We might be able to get Vegas's first round pick next year, and then we have to add a cap whale as well. 1 year left. Let's see. Anybody at a big contract can't take on Eichel, obviously. Denisenko's not making a lot. Anybody making a good amount for 1 year? Not really. You have a couple guys on 1.1. Could take in Jordan Greenway. Does that help anything? No, it doesn't. Okay, we'll have to look at a different team here. Toronto. Will you give up your first for next year? You wouldn't, but we'll still try it anyways. They'd be over the cap as well. Do you guys have a cap whale that I could take on for a year? Just to make this more realistic and go through. Alec Martinez. Who else is up there? Alec Martinez might be the only one, but I don't know if it's going to make them at the cap floor yet or not. Nope, still over the cap even with Martinez involved. Yeah, a lot of these teams are going to be problematic cap-wise, so that's probably why we're not getting a ton of offers. Let's go back here. Pittsburgh. Let's go your first-round pick for next year. That's a lot of value. I know you'd be over the cap. Let's see if you have a cap whale that I could take on. Wow, they have a lot of unsigned guys at the moment. Malkin with 1 year left, but doesn't really make sense. I could just bring Malkin in and then flip him to another team, but I don't think I'd get much for him. But he might be the obvious shout here. There's also Achari who's making $2 million. That doesn't help out anything. Probably bringing in Malkin actually does help a lot, but he does have value, which is not good really for us because we don't want to bring in somebody with much value. Joseph. He doesn't have a lot. He's signed for 2 years. Doesn't work either. Yeah, this might be tough to trade Scheifele right now. We might have to wait till the off season. We only got a couple hours left to this deadline. We're at like 10:30 around. And like I said, I don't really want to use the entire time of this trade deadline because I don't want this episode being super, super long. New Jersey does have Barabanov. We could just take Barabanov right back from them as a cap whale. But I'm not going to do that. LA, we already made a trade with. They probably are. How close are they to the cap floor? They're still well under. They're still well under. Do I trade him as well? Seems like a cheese thing to do. They'd be over the cap, it says, actually, so never mind. Florida would be over the cap as well. Teams like Detroit don't want them. Yeah, we honestly might not be able to move Mark Scheifele at the moment. His contract is kind of annoying in a sense, but it is what it is. Let's see. If I took on a bad contract here, like Jamie Benn for 1 year, they'd be over the salary cap. Columbus, do you have any cap oils? $4 million of Eric Branson. He's the perfect cap oil, but they would be still over apparently. So I'd probably have to retain a little bit on Scheifele. Let me retain 5%. Does that help anything? No. Does 10% help anything? I don't really want to retain too much though, because it is 6 more seasons. Like, how much would I have to retain for the 6 years? Yeah, I don't know if this is worth it at this point. We're at 20%. They'd still be over the cap. 25%? Nope. Okay, I don't know what we're going to do here. I don't know what we're going to do here with him. I might have to look at Hellebuck trades. Hey, we got a trade offer finally. And Matt Roy, a 6th round pick, and Dylan Sandberg. So 2 pending UFAs. 2 New Jersey for a 2nd and a 3rd. I think we got to do this trade. Once again, it's heading to New Jersey, but we don't need Matt Roy because we won't be bringing him back. Sandberg's just a tack on, to be honest. And a 6th round pick, I guess, is just a fail-safe for them. Yeah, let's do this trade. Why not? Why not? Declan Chisholm gets called up because of that. But that was our first offer of the day, and it's 11:15 a.m. So Matt Roy has been flipped as well. So our defensive core is changing up quite a bit. We're getting a lot of picks that we could eventually flip for better players potentially. But is there anything else I could look to trade right now? Let's just put Victor Hedman and Hellebuck on here for now and just see if there's any teams that would want those guys. Hellebuck, let's see. We do got an interest from Arizona on both guys. Obviously, they can't take both guys, but what do they have that would be intriguing? Let's just sort by potential. Berkeley Caton's unsigned. I have seen him develop, obviously, to being something really good in my Halifax series. Would it be cheese to change for Caton too? But he is a center too. We don't really need that much, but he could play left wing. Don't really see much else in terms of forwards. There is actually McQueen too, but he was another high up pick. Defensively, not much potential. Yeah, not really seeing a lot in Arizona, to be honest. Let's take a look at some other teams here. Boston had interest in Hedman, but it doesn't work that well. Hellebuck has interest from Chicago. What does Chicago want to give up here? Let's sort by potential again. Hemming, and they don't really have any good prospects other than Bedard, it seems like. And obviously I'm not taking in Bedard. It wouldn't work. Colorado, they'd be over to Caps, so I'd have to probably take in something. Looking for teams that would actually be kind of cap constrained too. There's a lot of teams interested in Hedman, but not so much on Hellebuck. Vegas wants both. But once again, they'd be over to cap. Oh, no, it was 12 o'clock. The deadline is passed. I didn't even realize we were that close to the deadline. I thought it was 1 o'clock, not 12 o'clock. Well, the deadline is over, and we made a couple of good trades, I think. So at least we did that. We only got one offer thrown to us, so we didn't get rid of all of our pending UFAs. But let me take a look at my checklist here. So we got rid of Kyle Connor, who was a pending UFA, so that's a big win. We got rid of Bear Banoff, pending UFA. We got rid of Lowry, pending UFA. And Matt Roy. So technically, the guys that we might just lose to free agency on their own is Christian Fischer. And then we have cap relief-wise, Victor Hedman and Connor Hellebuck and Mark Scheifele still to get rid of this offseason. Because Hedman maybe going into his last year of his contract. Hellebuck and Scheifele still signed long-term. But not a bad deadline for us. I'd say that especially that Kyle Connor trade. But here's the other trades at the deadline in case you guys wanted to take a look at those. So like Lawson Krause gets sent to Chicago. Ruzicka to Philadelphia. There's our Matt Roy deal. Not bad. Anything else intriguing trade-wise? Maybe I'll just skim through this. LA also gets Cam Atkinson. So they made a big splash acquiring him and Kyle Connor. Interesting. A couple other trades. It looks like Noah Hannafin going to the Flyers. Fabro to Montreal. Merzlikins to Toronto. Yarncroke to Dallas. Anything else? Bjorkstrand to the Islanders. Okay, and David Savard goes back to Columbus. That's funny. Okay, so that was the trade deadline. So pretty successful for us. Brett Kulak is on waivers. Probably not worth claiming. Yeah, not really worth claiming. Let's decline that. And we'll probably end up just keeping our lines the way the AI has it set up. Cole Perfetti's became the alternate captain because of the AI, which is interesting. And let's just see. Hellenius can play in the NHL probably right away. It might be a bit of a risk doing that, but let's get him in onto our top 6. At this point, I honestly don't care about our lines that much. But I want to make sure the young prospects are playing where they should be. Let's go like that. Yeah, it works. We'll go something like that instead. Defensively. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. I think that's what we're going to run with for the rest of the season. We still might honestly make the playoffs with this roster, which is a bit scary, but honestly, it is what it is. If we somehow make the playoffs after blowing it up, it's okay. Okay, now let's simulate the rest of the season. I know we're 32 minutes into this episode, but at least we only have to simulate another 18 games. Let's see if this team makes it to the playoffs somehow after blowing it up. At least we got rid of Kyle Connor, and we got a lot of good assets for him. Like, Michael Misa is very exciting for me to bring in. Obviously, I'm not huge on, like, actual medium elite players. Like, I like drafting generated medium elite guys instead, but acquiring somebody like Misa is not too bad. Okay, let's see how we do. Please don't win games, boys. We need to lose. And Velarde's been injured, so we're going to have to call somebody up. So I guess this gives VC the opportunity, because VC was just a, what was he? Attack on in a trade, I think. So we'll call up VC because I don't want to call up Stankoven yet. He will come up here at some point next season, though. Let's just, yeah, I'll just keep it the same like this, lines-wise. Don't really care. We are winning a lot of games here down the stretch. That's not ideal. Way too much games. Okay, boys, you need to calm down. Let's just go Velarde back into, I guess, where VC is? Oh, no, it's probably where Fisher is. Let's just go best lines here. And then let's readjust it a little bit again, because I want to make sure our young prospects are playing. Kurashev can be scratched. Yeah, Kurashev can be scratched. That's fine. Yeah, it works. Okay. Let's continue simulating. We're winning way too much games, though, down the stretch. Or, oh my goodness, we might make the playoffs. No. I didn't want to make the playoffs this year after all that. Well, sometimes when you try to blow things up, it doesn't work. If we would have traded Scheifele and Hellebuck at this deadline, we definitely would have fallen off a lot. But for some reason, after moving Kyle Connor, this team is all of a sudden winning a lot more. We are second place in our division with 83 points. Last playoff spot has 81 points. Last team outside of the playoffs in our division has 77 in the same amount of games played as us. There's a realistic shot we make the playoffs here now after blowing it up. We do win 2 more games. Yeah, we're going to make the playoffs. We're going to make it. I just feel like it. Oh, my God. Well, we're going to be knocked out in round 1. And we're going to have a late pick, but it is what it is. If we somehow have to face Los Angeles in the playoffs and then we beat Kyle Connor, that would be so weird. Because LA is doing really well this year, but there's a realistic chance we make the playoffs. We're 5 points up on the Stars. And the Stars are outside of the playoffs. And we have 6 games left. Okay, if we win like 2 games or something like this, I think we make the playoffs. And we win both of them. We have made the playoffs, I think. Yep, we've clinched a playoff spot after blowing it up at the deadline. I don't understand that in the slightest. We got rid of 4 players from our team. Matt Roy, defenseman. Lowry, the third liner. Bear Banov is second/first liner. And we got rid of an amazing player in Kyle Connor. And somehow this team is just going on a torrential pace down the stretch. Well, maybe I should have tried to contend. Oh my goodness. Last game of the year. We finished with 45 wins. I don't understand this in the slightest. Like, at the trade deadline, remember, we only had 27 regulation losses. Or we had 27 regulation losses, I think. So at the start of this episode, we didn't look that good. But we win one game, lose in overtime, lose in regulation there. We go on a 5-game win streak. We didn't lose in overtime, still get a point. And we go on a 9-game winning streak at the end of the year. What in the shit happened with this team? I don't understand it. We've won 9 in a row going into the playoffs, I think, right? We're going to get swept in the first round, and this is going to look pretty stupid, but what a weird year for this team. I honestly don't know how this team made it to the playoffs without Kyle Connor, but I'm not going to question it. Maybe we could win us another Stanley Cup still. Sit in the cards. So we finished as the 9th best team in the NHL with 99 points. Goals for per game. Weren't the best offensively, but that's okay. We are probably around mid-table. A little bit below mid-table, actually, I think. Wait, where were we? Yeah, a little bit around mid-table, maybe. Goals against per game. This is probably where we did really well. Yeah, we were still a very good defensive team. Top 10 in the league. Our power play clicked at 20%, so that's actually pretty good. 20.9. And our penalty kill at 82.4 is also around mid-table. Yeah, this is a weird team. We shouldn't be as good as we are right now. But yeah, like, look at that. 9-0-1 in our last 10 games going into the playoffs. We're definitely due for a first-round exit, but let's take a look at our player stats here. Did not expect to make the playoffs this year, but here we are. Scheifele was almost point per game, so he picked it up, I think, after the trades. Plus 26. Perfetti was great, 69 points, plus 14. Velarde, 43 points, minus 1. Lucius had a good rookie year with 21 goals, which is nice to see. Gustafsson was okay. Kupari was trash defensively, but okay offensively. Kershev, 5 points, 15 games, not bad. Michelli, 49 points, pretty solid. Fialbi, 4 points, not great. He only had 3 points, but somehow we managed to make the playoffs. Right wing wise, Chinnikov was great, 67 points for Chinnikov, 23 from Fisher, and Hellenius came in and picked up 4 points in 19 games, which is not great, but he did kind of get a little bit rushed into that spot. Defensively, Morrissey 65 points, Victor Hedman 53, so yeah, we definitely needed to flip away a lot of good players in order for us to actually not make the playoffs, but hey, maybe we'll do that in the offseason this year if we somehow win another Stanley Cup. Noel and Haig, 18 points apiece. Cairo, 13 points, not bad. And Chisholm had 2 points. Was a plus 4. I'll take it. Goaltending wise, Hellebuck had a .916 save percentage, so he improved in this episode quite a bit. And Dostal also improved quite a bit too. So not bad from our goaltending. Let's take a look at stats around the league. So Connor McDavid led in league points with 110. Best goal scorer was McDavid with 59. Interesting. Selke candidates, not that we probably have anybody. Let's take a look anyways. Connor Bedard, 191 takeaways and over 50% on the draw is pretty good. Elias is also pretty solid. Anything else intriguing in terms of that? Sebastian Aho, maybe. Most fights, Marcus Foligno with 17. Best defenseman in points, Cale Makar with 103. Jeez. Carlson and Fox hit 90. Okay. Best goaltender this season, Stuart Skinner with 45 wins. Most shutouts, Georgiev with 8. Best save percentage by a starter, Logan Thompson with a .919 and Vejmelka with a .919. Best goals against average by a starter, Thompson with a .247. So Logan Thompson likely your Vezina winner, but Vejmelka is also up there a little bit. Any goalie goals for fun? No. Goalie assist wise, Jake Ottinger with 5. And rookie of the year is Brant Clark with 41 points. Igor Sokolov up there as well. Joachim Kamel. Chaz Lucius finished 4th in rookie points for us, which is awesome. Love to see it. Okay, so we somehow made the playoffs with this roster, and I am still very confused. A little bit scrambly, to be honest, because I thought we were going to go into another offseason here after winning the Stanley Cup, but somehow these guys rallied back to make it into the playoffs after losing Kyle Connor. And we're going to be taking on Dallas in the first round, and we actually have home ice advantage in this series, which is hilarious. Okay, we'll definitely take a look at what Dallas is looking like. But let's take a look at LA quickly. I do want to take a look at how Kyle Connor did with the Los Angeles Kings. Let's see. He's on their first line with Kempe and Fiala. Let's see. 20 points in 19 games. Respectable. Respectable. But what is Dallas looking like? Our first round opponents. Oh boy. Yeah, this is going to be a very tough first round. Jason Robertson, Rupe Hintz, Gustav Nyquist, Evgeny Dadonov, Matt Duchene, Calle Yarncroke, Jamie Benn, Tyler Seguin, Wyatt Johnson, and then Sam Steele, Jeff Carter, Jonathan Drouin. That's a very good forward core for a team to finish below us. Yikes. Defensively, Heiskanen and Neil Pionk, our former defender. Of course. Nils Lundqvist, Esa Lundell, Ryan Suter, and Connor Carrick. That's a great defensive core as well. And goalie-wise, they do have Jake Ottinger, obviously, who's really good, and Scott Wedgwood. So, yeah, this is a very good team. Harley, Archibald, Dermott is scratches. Yeah, this is going to be a first-round exit. So we basically cheesed ourselves out of a very good draft pick with the playoffs, and we're probably going to get knocked out in the first round. That's my guess. I also want to take a look quickly on how they did during the regular season compared to us, though, because I honestly have no idea. I also do want to take a look at our AHL player stats as well, because they didn't do that yet. And then I'll be it for this episode, since we're already in the 40 minutes range, I think. I didn't want to go to AHL yet. Let's see. Let's just go Central Division. So we finished 9 points above the Stars somehow. They were better offensively than us. We were better defensively. Power play-wise, we were better. And penalty kill-wise, they were better. 9 short-handed goals for them this season. And they were kind of average going into the playoffs. So there is that. Let's take a look at our AHL player stats as well. See if we got any good stat lines from AHL prospects. Looks like Colby Barlow was doing solid. But this team in general in the AHL, really rough year. Really rough year in the plus-minus department. Nobody was plus on this team. And both goalies, well, Milic was terrible. But Johnny Grant had a .911 save percentage. Still only a 71, but that's pretty solid for a rookie campaign from the young guy. So that's that. And that's going to do it, guys, for this episode of our Winnipeg Jets franchise mode. So in next episode, I guess we'll take it to the first round against the Dallas Stars. We'll see what this team does. More than likely, we're going to get swept. But who knows? Maybe this team is going to win a Stanley Cup after moving away its best player. So anything down below, and I'll see you guys next time.